Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Good afternoon, happy Saturday, and welcome into Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill, tracking all the action for you today. We got a busy day in the world of sports. We're in the middle of conference finals for the NBA, the NHL, the French Open is coming up. We're going to get expert analysis on all the big things happening, but we got a busy day of baseball to get to. But before we get into those plays, Will, how you doing today?
I'm good. I appreciate you checking. I mean, nobody ever checks on me, asks how I'm doing. Stormy's the worst. Stormy, great person, but we just when I'm on Stormy, get right into business. I appreciate somebody asking me how I'm doing. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great as well. Kind of a sleepy little Saturday here in Nashville, but ready to get into this baseball slate. Love that we finally have a packed afternoon. I feel like the last few shows we've done together, all the games have happened before us, and we're stuck with like 3 games. But no, we got the meat of the schedule here during this show, so this will be a fun one. But stick around for later on, because coming up at in about 30 minutes, we'll have Pam Maldonado on. She is joining us from ESPN and the Tennis Channel with some bets for the French Open. And then later on in the show, we'll have Trista Crick joining us with her NBA and WNBA best bet. So really excited for that. But let's get into this baseball slate here. And we can start. We got a couple games teeing off in 5 minutes. So let's do Brewers, Pirates. Really close game here, according to the market. Both about -110 on the money line, depending where you look, with a total of 8.5. You have any leans in this one, Will?
Didn't bet it. Would lean over. I think Priester stinks. I think Keller's been pretty good, but there's probably some negative regression coming there. Command, hard hit. So Pirates have swung the bats a little bit better lately. O'Neal Cruz being back helps that. So it would be over 8.5 or nothing. I didn't actually bet it. I do have a bunch. There's a bunch of these 4:00 Eastern games. So I didn't want to have like bets on every single one. But, the more you handicap it, the more you start talking yourself into bets on all of them. But it'd be over 8.5 or nothing for me. Is this, what are you looking at here? Either side, total, props, anything?
It would have been the side for me. Not too excited about it. Like you said, I mean, the pitchers are just not great here. Quinn Priester, young guy. I think he's still trying to find his way. Mitch Keller, it looks like he's due some negative regression here. A 3.88 ERA, a 4.45 expected ERA. And like you mentioned, that hard hit number is up. Right now, and it's weird too, the velo is down on his top 3 pitches. But if I had to go any way, it would be the Pirates. I hesitate to call it a buy low spot because, it's right now the best price I'm seeing is -109. It would be nice if, in this one with the name value, you're not going to get a plus money against the Brewers with Quinn Priester. But, these bullpens are average. The offenses are both below average. So the only edge I see here is with Mitch Keller. I think he's the better pitcher. I do think minus 109 is a fair price on the Pirates, but just not something I'm too passionate about right now. But let's go to the next game about to throw first pitch, and that's the Giants at the Nationals. San Francisco on minus 158. Favorites on the money line, Washington plus 134 with a total of 8.5. Anything you like in this one?
I like the Giants. I know there's a little juice there, but I'm okay with it. Complete mismatch in terms of the bullpen. Giants, one of the better bullpens in the league. The Washington bullpen ERA 6.27, and Irvin is a guy whose surface stats, you look at the ERA, the traditional numbers, it's not that bad. There's some bad days coming for our buddy Mr. Irvin here, because the expected ERA is a good about 2 runs higher. He's gotten hit hard. He doesn't blow you away with his stuff. He doesn't get a lot of swings and misses. So again, I don't know how many innings we're getting out of Harrison. I believe this is his season debut, and then maybe Hicks to follow that up, which is not the most encouraging thing because he was not great as a starter and he got demoted for a reason. But I just think mismatch in bullpens, like I said, Irvin regression. I like the Giants here, even though it's like minus 155, minus 160 in that range. Maybe people don't want to bet that. I know people want to basically win what they bet, but I don't really want any part of the Nationals here. How do you see this game? How'd you handicap it?
I actually ended up betting the over here, the over 8.5. You mentioned it about our buddy Jake Irvin. It's already like none of the underlying metrics are good, and he should get even worse when you're looking at the actual versus the expected. 3.58 ERA, a 5.63 expected ERA, a 4.80 FIP. The velo on his fastball has dropped more than 2 miles an hour, which, if everything's building off that, it would make sense that the rest of his arsenal just isn't looking good right now. Really high barrel rate, almost 14%, a hard hit rate, almost 50%. The average exit velo allowed and expected slugging are bottom 10% of the MLB. So I think he'll get hit here. Kyle Harrison, he's a young guy. It's his 3rd year in the majors, but last year was his first full-time season. He has made 4 appearances this year, but this will be his first start. And like you said, we don't really know how deep he's going.
Right.
If they're planning on making this a full start for him, if he's more of just like a bulk opener. But even looking at his expected, he should be due some negative regression here. And especially looking at his career averages are a lot higher than than his actual results this year. So I think he'd regress toward what he is. So I like the over here. It is a little bit warmer today than yesterday as well in the D.C. area, 70 degrees, and we get 12-mile-an-hour winds into about the right corner of the field. So should help a little bit. But, yeah, I ended up betting the over 8.5, and that first pitch was just thrown. We're top of the first now. So
one last one on that.
One.
Irvin 4.5 Ks to the under, I think might be good too. I did bet that as well, just because all the reasons you mentioned, all of the underlying stuff's not pretty. So maybe he gets hit around, he gets a rough start here, and he's not around long enough to get to the 5K. So I do like the under 4.5 Ks as well.
Yeah, his honestly, sometimes I'm surprised his line is even at 4.5 because he is not a high strikeout guy. And I want to see what Milwaukee's team strikeout rate is. 21.4%. That's not even high. Like I was expecting, are they like a 28% strikeout team? No, they're just about average. So yeah, I like that play on Jake Irvin. Checking in on some of the other scores happening right now. The O's and Red Sox in game 1 of a doubleheader. They're still tied up at 5 apiece in the bottom of the 8th, so that should be a fun one here. Royals and Twins, another close game here, tied at 4 apiece in the top of the 7th, and then the Cards leading the D-backs 4-1 in the top of the 8th. Brewers and Pirates just began, as we mentioned, no score yet in the top of the 4th, no outs either. Let's move. We have the Yankees and Rockies teeing off in about 2 minutes here. Also have the Padres, Braves, Cubs, Reds. Gosh, we got a bunch teeing up. So I'll just open it up to you, Will, to make sure we get your favorite play in here. What do you like?
Oh, you're making it tough because if you're going to ask me do I have bets in any of these games, I have bets in all of them. I don't know. Part of it because we're on the air and you just really dig into these games. I'll just start with Yankees Rockies. I took a weird one. I laid $1.50.
Okay.
I took +4 runs with the Rockies. I just think based on principle,
What?
if you're going to give me 4 runs in a baseball game, I got to take it. I thought about +4.5, so I can win on 4 at -182. I ultimately landed on 4. Just laid $1.52. I don't think I've ever had +4 in a baseball. These lines on the Rocky games are just getting out of control. Freeland is not that bad. I think he's in a situation where if some other team traded for him and cleaned up his arsenal a little bit, he could actually be effective, get him away from cores. He's had good years. Fried's really good, but a big part of Fried's game is his curveball, and we know the curveball doesn't break as well in elevation, in cores. So I played under 6.5 Ks for Fried, and I took the +4 with the Rockies, which is just insane. Also went under 4.5 Padres and Braves. Holmes has been pretty good for the Braves. King's been outstanding. King is underrated. And neither team, you think of those teams, those lineups, big names, neither team has really hit the ball well as of late. So I like the under 4.5 first 5 there. And I also took a half a run with the Reds in the first 5, laid $1.50. Abbott going against Colin Ray. Ray's surface stats, he's another guy. Surface stats really good, but there's some regression coming. He's gotten hit pretty hard, struggles with lefties. Red's got some good ones. That's a tough ballpark. And Abbott's been outstanding, and really he's been outstanding at home here. So I think you got a good pitching advantage there with Cincy, and you're getting the half run in the first 5. You got to lay some juice, but those are at least ones that I bet. What do you like? What don't you like out of those?
Okay, so I think we're seeing a lot of these the same way. Let me try to get some in here. First, I agree with you on Kyle Freeland. I feel bad for him that he spent his career at Coors Field because I think there's some good stuff there. But generally, it's a principle for me. I just don't bet on games on Coors Field. I just think there's too much variability. I just don't want to mess with that atmosphere. Padres Braves, I like San Diego first 5 team total over 2.5. Models have it projected at 2.7 runs for the Pods in the first 5. However, the price on that over 2.5 is +124. And Grant Holmes, don't like him. He leads with his 4-seamer. It has a 434 expected weighted on base average. I bet the Reds -104. We have seen some line movement on this one. It was +106 last night. Andrew Abbott, I think, is the better pitcher here. Colin Ray, as you mentioned, do a lot of negative regression, a 2.38 ERA compared to a 4.13 expected. So I'm on the Reds there. And you know what? I actually think this is a good spot to back the White Sox, +137 against the Rangers. The Rangers have lost 16 of their last 24 on the road. They've lost 4 of their last 5 Jack Leader starts. So we got a bunch coming up here, and we'll track those as we continue on to the show. But we are just getting started here on Live Bet Saturday. Coming up on the other side, let's get into the NBA. I'm Grace, he's Will. We'll be back on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back into Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington. He's Will Hill, tracking all the MLB action and more with you today. Let's take a look at some of these afternoon games on the diamond. The O's and Red Sox now in the top of the 9th, tied at 5 apiece still. The Royals and Twins also still tied as they head to the top of the 8th, 4 apiece. The D-backs and Cardinals, Arizona just tied it up. Top of the 8th now. This one is tied for all, and the D-backs have a runner on 3rd. And then some of these games just teed off. The Pirates and Brewers scoreless in the bottom of the 1st. The Giants trailing the Nats 2-0 in the bottom of the 1st. So nice start there for my over 8.5 in that game, getting some runs early. We got the Cubs and Reds in the top of the first. The Cubs with a man on first, no score yet. The Pods and Braves scoreless in the mid-first. Mariners and Stros scoreless in the top of the first. Rangers leading the White Sox 1-0 in the top of the first with a man on second. So not great for my White Sox plus 137. And then the Yankees taking a 1-0 lead on the Rockies in the top of the first. Will, any thoughts so far on these scores?
No, just the games we didn't get to. Mariners, Astros, those are two pitchers I really like, Wu and Valdez. So if you can still get a half a run, I don't even care which side you get a half run within the first 5, I would take it. Seattle is about to go down 1-2-3 in the first. Looks like so 2 out, nobody on. So maybe even jumping in now in Seattle, taking a half a run in the first 5. The under, which was 4, mostly 3.5, but some 4s, is going to dip now to 3.5. I would still look towards the under. To me, this is like 1-1 after 5, 1-0 after 5. 2 pitchers I really like. Wu, I think, is underrated. Valdez is really good. We talked about Texas and the White Sox. I think you liked the White Sox. I like the under. I just think Leiter's been decent lately. Cannon's been pretty competent. And Texas just cannot hit. Seager's always hurt. He matters a lot, but they brought Langford back, and they got guys coming in and out. They can't score any runs. Hitting 225 as a team, 650 OPS. That's a team you think of Texas in the range. You think of offense. They've just been really, really bad. They started to show some signs of life recently, and then they just go back in the tank. So that's an under 4.5 in the first 5 I liked. I think that's all of the early games we touched on. Touched on Cubs, Reds, Braves, Padres, scoreless bottom of the first. Stop me if you've heard this before. Aaron Judge with a home run. So the Yankees lead 1-0. But excited. We got a lot of games on. I wish sometimes they would space this out a little more, because you go from having like 2 or 3 games to like 10 games on at the same time. But how about this? How about the 3 games that came on or started before we came on? All tied 5-5, 4-4, and 4-4. That's pretty interesting.
I know, that's really fun. So we're in for a great finish here. I want to go back to the Mariners and the Stros. You like the first 5 run line? Is that what you said?
Just give me a half a run on whoever. I guess it will be Seattle now that they haven't batted. I actually looked at 2 books, and 2 different books had each team getting a half run. I think you had to lay like $1.40 with the Mariners. Another one you had to lay $1.25 with the Astros, but you could take a half run on each side. I like taking these half runs in the first 5, just because so many times when you get 2 good pitchers, it's tied after 5. It's 1-1, it's 2-2. And if you get that half a run, you win on the tie. It's so valuable. So that's when I've been playing a lot, first 5, where I take a half a run. I've also been playing these first 3 unders with 2 good pitchers, because you avoid that second time through the lineup. I looked at this one before the game. It's like minus 165, first 3 under 2.5. It's just so often, again, it's 1-0, 1-1, 2-0. It's hard to score 3 runs in the first 3 innings when you got the good pitchers. It's more dangerous when you play the full 5 or the first 5, because you start to see the pitcher the second time around. Pitcher gets a little tired. They've seen them, things like that. But first 3 unders in the first 5 where you can get a half a run are angles I've been playing a lot lately. Okay,
I like that. I am trying to track the live prices here. I'm seeing you can get half a run with Seattle at plus 125 on FanDuel. And you can get Houston half a run plus 125 at MGM. So you could commit some arbitrage there. But that's those odds boards that are just comparing everything across the market. Like, I don't know if those are so accurate. I'm just putting that out there. People are going to have to go check on their own.
Right.
But I came into this one liking Seattle minus 105, and now I can get them plus 105, so I might just fire on that. I like Brian Wu. He's even better on the road somehow. A 195 ERA on the road this year, 198 batting average allowed this season. High strikeout rate guy, almost 25%. Really low walk rate this year, below 4%. So I want to back him. I think these offenses are about even. Seattle is a top 10 offense against lefties. Houston is a top 10 offense against righties. So let's see. The odds just changed. I'm seeing if there's still no score. No score bottom of the first. Yeah, I think I have to fire on Seattle. Now they are plus 10 live. So, plus 15. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Rangers, White Sox, what was your play in that one?
Under 4.5 in the first 5. I don't like this Texas offense. Leiter's been decent. I know he's had some starts where he's had command issues, but remember, he was a big-time prospect, I think number 2 pick in the draft. He's got the stuff. He's got the pedigree. Cannon's been okay. White Sox, not a great lineup. So to me, again, 4.5. 4.5 is the key number because I want to win when it's 2-2 or 3-1. 4 is a key number in that first 5. I like the under 4.5 first 5. I like, and the same thing for Braves Padres. I think the Braves have a couple runners on here, first and third. But that 4.5, when you get that hook in the first 5, is very, very key.
Yeah, you're good at finding those first 5 bets. So you like isolating the starting pitchers?
I do. I don't. You can have an edge if you find, bullpen usage and who's pitching and who's not available and, who worked last night and whose bullpen's bad. It's just, it's extra work and it's just more variance.
It's a lot of work.
especially when you get into the extra innings, and it's not even the work factor. It's just, there's a lot of moving parts and you start to get into this ghost runner stuff. It really adds a lot to it, especially if you're playing unders. I've been burned way too many times playing full game unders where it looks like an under the whole way. And then what happens? You go to extra innings, and then all hell breaks loose. So, lost too many games like that. I prefer the first 5 under.
So the weather is playing in your favor for that first 5 under. Kind of a cool day there in Chicago. 59 degrees, 53% humidity, but we have 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing in, so that should help. Let's take a look at, the Yankees-Rockies. We've reached the bottom of the first now. The Yankees still leading 1-0. Do we have a score in Cubs-Reds? No, we don't. Bottom of the first. So we don't like either of these pitchers. Or how do you feel about Andrew Abbott, actually?
I like Abbott.
He is due some negative. Okay, yeah. He's had a good result, a 1.80 ERA, but a 2.25 expected. That's still a good number, despite it being a little bit higher than his actual results. But tell me again about your Reds play here.
Yeah, I just think Colin Ray, I'm sure if you look at him, you're going to expect some negative regression. Just he's gotten hit pretty hard. He doesn't have great swing and miss stuff. There's a lot of things that I think are unsustainable, even though he's been effective. And Abbott's been really good. Okay, he's doing a little bit negative regression, but he's been outstanding at home. And again, you're getting half a run in the first 5 here. I think that's the way to play it. I think that look, the Cubs are really good, but pitching advantage here with Cincy, I think in a pretty substantial way.
Yeah, Andrew Abbott has held opponents to 1 earned run or fewer in 6 of 7 starts. He has gotten a little bit lucky. His strand rate is almost 90%, but his strikeout rate is through the roof. He's gotten it to over 30%, whereas his career average was 19.5 heading into this season. And it looks like it's because the whiff rate is up on his 4-seamer, even though the velo is down. The whiff rate is up on his changeup. Whiff rate is up on it's up on the sweeper. So, I mean, he's found something, and he's working it for it. He's keeping the barrel rate low, the hard hit rate low. In the month of May too, his numbers are just absurd. 0.45 ERA, so less than 1, and no home runs allowed in 4 starts. So, yeah, I like backing him in this one along with the Reds. By the way, if you need baseball plays, and of course you do, every day of the week, head over to vsin.com because that's where you can find the smartest plays. And right now you can sign up on an annual subscription and get 14 months for just $199 when you use the promo code PRO. That's 2 extra months for free for less than 50 cents a day. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber today and get instant access to a daily email with all the best bets from our hosts and guests, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 video access on the VSiN Watch app, plus full access to vsin.com's analytics, betting trends, and expert breakdowns. Go to vsin.com/subscribe and use the promo code PRO.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill. Quick update for you. Will, your Reds run line bet in the first 5 looking good. Cincy taking a 2-0 run thanks to a 2-run shot from Ellie De La Cruz. So good call by you.
So far, so good. 2 runs in, a man on. So hopefully Colin Ray gets his negative regression that we're expecting here from him as he walks another guy. So 2 on, 1 out. He's in some early trouble after giving up the 2 runs.
There you go. Keep adding the insurance. All right, well, let's go from the diamond to the courts now, the clay court, because the French Open begins tomorrow. And we need some plays. So now joining us on the Progressive guest line, Pam Maldonado, handicapper for ESPN and the Tennis Channel. Pam, thanks so much for joining us today. And we were just talking about your day so far. Sounds like you've already won some money. So you're coming in here with a bunch of good omens for us.
You know, I love to play golf, and I am so happy to do it without money on the line, but it just makes it that much more competitive when you're playing for something, even if it's for a few bucks per hole, closer to the hole, give me anything.
Love that. Well, let's get into the women's draw for Roland Garros here. We'll start with the outright market. Sabalenka, the favorite to win here at plus 250. Iga Swiatek, plus 390. She was a bigger favorite, but her odds have slid a little bit. How do you feel about her heading into the tourney?
You know, Iga Swiatek is definitely, this is her tournament to win, right? She is just an absolute beast when it comes to playing at the French Open. 35-2 overall, 6 appearances, 4 French titles. She was a minus favorite even just like 2-3 weeks ago. She's had a couple of losses. She's very much hasn't looked like herself. And now you can get her anywhere near like up to 4-1, which, hey, I wouldn't be doing that, which is crazy to say, because if she doesn't win, this is not at all a knock on her talent, but instead it's just a reflection of the uneven season that she's had. Flashes of dominance, but she hasn't really sustained it. Some of the losses that she had are very questionable. All losses where she just looked out of rhythm, playing flat in key moments. So I know that it is so enticing to want to take kind of like the queen of clay at 4-1. It screams value, but there's so many other capable players, and this year Swiatek just hasn't shown the same aura of inevitability. So actually, she's not somebody that I'm interested in wagering for the French Open.
To follow up on Iga, Pam, what do you think's going on with her? Because I'm sure you've heard the same rumors I have, stuff off the court, relationships, things that are getting in her head. Is it psychological? Is it physical? Is it a mix of both? What do you think's going on here with her losing her dominance here these last 6 months, a year or so?
It could definitely be like a range of outcomes. One, she did have that suspension from the doping incidents that she had, and she hasn't really been the same player since. So how much of that is it a factor? How much is it a factor of a lot of the players on tour for both the WTA side and the ATP side are just rising to the occasion. And it's kind of what we're seeing with Djokovic, where that aura of inevitability is fading, and that gives confidence for all of these other players who have similar skill sets, who have the drop shots, who have variety, who have power, to kind of come into these matches and be like, okay, I can beat her now because I've seen her lose multiple times. So we have a range of, maybe it's some of that doping, maybe it's the other players are rising while she's falling. It could also be that it's just not her time. Like, you cannot have sustained dominance throughout the course of 12 months, year after year. You've been in this for a while. It's bound to catch up at some point. Maybe it's just a slump, and maybe she could definitely break out of it for the French Open. I haven't seen anything to say that that's possible. So it's multiple things that are happening all at once, plus everything that's happening in personal life outside, off the courts.
Looking at the market to reach the quarterfinals, Sabalenka, the biggest favorite here, minus 600, Swiatek minus 470, Coco Gauff minus 430, and then Andreeva minus 270. Do you have any plays for the quarter markets here?
There's a couple of quarter bets that I like for the WTA side. Mira Andreeva to win Q3 at -110. I really love her to not just win her quarter, but potentially also at 6-1 to win this tournament. Andreeva has been one of my favorite players for quite some time now. I've been screaming screaming my lungs out about her over the last 12 months. She has recent wins over Swiatek and Sabalenka, both at Indian Wells. So that just tells me that she already has confidence at such a young age to face some of these power hitters and not be phased by it at all. Her game is made for clay. We're talking about absorb space, able to sustain some of those long rallies. She has the variety. She has the composure. So Andreeva is just a perfect blend of teenage fearlessness and a high tennis IQ, which is what you need to not just win your quarter, but also win the tournament. I also like Coco Gauff to win Q4. This is a heavier price because it's -140, but she's definitely one of the players that should contend. And so you're kind of paying for, we've seen what your abilities are. Now, can you just follow through with execution? Elite movement, elite athleticism from Goff, which is perfect for clay. She's improved on her serve and aggression since pairing with her coach in Brad Gilbert. She's improved on her shot selection and has matured as a player. And she's a bit of a defensive wall. That's what she's known for, her skill sets. So her match experience, Coco Gauff has been in the final here at the French Open before, so she shouldn't have the fear of having on the big stage. So those are two players that I don't just like them to win their quarter. If things go well for them, since if I'm not picking somebody like Swiatek to win, Andreeva and even Coco Gauff are two players who could also win this tournament.
How about on the men's side? Is it just as simple as it's either Alcaraz or Sinner, or do you give anyone else here on the men's side a shot?
I know that it is so just like a cop-out to be like, oh, I'm going to pick the favorite, except his name is Carlos Alcaraz. And yes, I'm picking Alcaraz to win this tournament at +110. I grabbed a better number at +125. +110, still playable. And because he is a clay court master, we talk about the skill sets of when you look at Nadal and when he plays, you just know that his skills, every weapon that Nadal has, he's going to dominate. You have the same conviction when you see Alcaraz play on this surface. The heavy topspin, the elite footwork, what he has most going for him, his wicked drop shots. It is a thing of beauty. And when you have all of those combined with the court coverage that turns defense into offense, other players are just grinding out the matches. Alcaraz is a player that kind of glides. So the draw sets up perfectly for him. He doesn't really have resistance until maybe the quarterfinal. Potential matchups against Casper Ruud, who's been here in the final in back-to-back years, but Alcaraz has beat him multiple times. Tommy Paul is an American that's getting some noise and attention, but he just lacks the clay court resume. Taylor Fritz is also somebody that he could face, but he's on clay. And then Musetti, he has flair, but Carlos has fire. So you just have all of these things that are lining up. I love Alcaraz to win, even if he gets into the final and faces somebody like Sinner and or Alexander Zverev. Both are absolutely threats, especially Sinner, since the dominance we've seen from him in 2025. But Alcaraz gets to Sunday. He's battle-tested. He's ready. I love Alcaraz to win this tournament.
When you're going over this men's bracket, which player do you think got the most favorable quarter draw?
I'm not going to say that it's favorable. I'm going to say that it is a value pick, but not a lock. And that's going to be, I just mentioned his name, Taylor Fritz, the American, to win quarter 3 at 5-1, because his nickname is Claylor Fritz for a reason. He's been improving on clay each and every year. He has more patience to his game that he didn't necessarily have years ago. He's smarter with his shots that he's choosing to, he knows when now to apply the pressure and when to dial back. His serve is still a huge weapon, even on some of these slower clay courts. He's mentally tougher now than he's before. He's just matured as a player, and we've seen that progression from 2 years ago to now. It's very tough for him. I'm not going to say this is a lock at 5-1, of course, but it's what screams value to me, because there's players in there like Holger Rune where if he flames out, which he might because he's just not physically fit of a player, or somebody like Lorenzo Musetti, if he gets bounced early, then the draw opens up. And you have players like Cerundolo, Tomas Mahac, or even Mickelson could all be landmines. But still, as the number 4 seed, Fritz has the clearest path on paper. He needs to serve well, and he needs to keep his points short. And if he does, it very could, well, where we even see him be like a semifinalist waiting to happen. So it's a value pick for Fritz to win Q3, not a lock.
Less than a minute left. Who did you win money off of? And did you hustle them or did you win it fair and square?
Are you talking about golf? We are going to go back to golf. Yeah, there was no hustling involved. In the first 9, they saw me and they were like, okay, you're looking a little bored. Let's pick up the pace. Let's add some dollars into the back. So we did closer to the hole. We did skins. We did a whole range of things. And then we doubled down on 18 because I was up. And I was like, well, I'm sure if you want to donate your money. So it was definitely fun. I just love playing golf. I love being out there. I love the sun. I love the suntan. I love the sweat. I love it all. So I don't really care if you play good or not. I just want to be out there and shoot shit.
Man, so they walked right into it. Well, I will have so much fun. I used to live in the St. Pete, Tampa area, and it is just gorgeous, although I'm sure it's swampy down there at this point. But have so much fun. That was awesome insights. Thanks so much for joining us, Pam.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Pam Maldonado of ESPN and Tennis Channel joining us with her French Open bets on the Progressive guest line. I'm feeling pretty hype, Will. I got to go place some of those bets now. Coming up on the other side, though, we're getting back into baseball and hitting a little NBA playoffs. This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill, taking you through the baseball slate today. We do have a result in Boston. The Red Sox walk it off 6-5 in extra innings. Rafael Devers, the hero in this one, and some poor game management here, Will. They pitched to Gregory Soto was on the mound. He pitches to Devers. He hits the second pitch he sees, a 96-mile-an-hour four-seamer. That brings in the ghost runner, and they win. So Devers 2 for 4 on the day with a run RBI. He had, oh, nope, I'm looking at the wrong person. Sorry. 2 for 4 with a run RBI and a walk. But your thoughts on the ending of that game?
Just stupid. I mean, he's Rafael Devers. I understand it's lefty on lefty, but you got a base open. Devers is their best hitter. Let somebody else beat you. Set up the double play and just walk him. I was shocked they pitched to him. Again, Soto's a tough lefty, throws hard, all that stuff, lefty on lefty. I would not let Devers beat me. So to me, that's really egregious managing to let Devers beat you in that spot.
Right. That was game 1 of a doubleheader. Baltimore has not announced their starting pitcher for game 2, but we know Boston is throwing Lucas Giolito. Right now, Baltimore listed plus 102 on the money line. Boston is minus 122 with a total of 9.5. Quick weather report here. We're in the 60s today with 9-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to right center field. So I know we can't really say anything on this game yet, not knowing who the other starting pitcher is, but are there any thoughts you might have on this game too?
Might bet the over 9.5. That would be my only play, just because if he's pitching for the Orioles, we don't really need to know who he is. We know he's probably not going to be very good. They have no pitching whatsoever. It's amazing how quickly they've gone downhill. Last year, 2 years ago, they were a team on the rise, looked to be set up for a long time. Some of it is guys left in free agency like Burns. A lot of it's injuries. Some of these guys have just regressed. It's a little of each, but they have no pitching. Giolito, it's not like he's Cy Young on the mound either. 2 pretty good lineups. That's a good ballpark for hitting. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw this, 34 hits in what was a game where they scored 20-something runs. The game goes over the total today again at 6-5. And now you're talking about bullpens that are taxed, because you had yesterday, you got a game today. You're playing 3 games in 2 days. I'm actually going to bet the over 9.5. I think that's a little cheap. I think we'll see another softball type game. It feels like all these Orioles games, a lot of these Orioles games lately have just gone over because they can hit. They just don't have any pitching. And they struggle against lefties, but Giolito's a righty. So I like the Orioles offense. I like both offenses, and I don't think you're getting much out of either starting pitcher.
Okay, I'm seeing it might be Trevor Rogers, who's starting for the O's. But I think I would be with you on that over. I'm looking at Ballpark Pals projection. They priced the over 9.5 at minus 109. So that's in line with the market, but they have 10.2 runs projected. So yeah, over I think would be a smart one there. I kind of want to look at the Yurfie here. When you have two not great pitchers and good weather, that is typically where I would bet a Yurfie. It's minus 113 though. That's fine though. Yeah, Lucas Giolito. You're right. Whoever the Orioles pitcher is, we're going to fade him. But Giolito has not been great either. He is probably due some positive regression. I don't think he's as bad as that 5.50 ERA, but the rest of his numbers, I mean, some of them are the lowest of his career. So he might still be working his way back from injury. But a couple other score updates to get to here. We are now in the bottom of the ninth between the Royals and the Twins. That game is still tied up at 4 apiece, but Minnesota has a man on first with no outs. This D-backs Cardinals game going back and forth in the end of the game here. Cards up 6-5, top of the ninth. D-backs with runners on second and third. 2 outs there, though. Mid-third here for Brewers Pirates. This one is tied up at 1 apiece. The Nats still leading 2-0 on the Giants in the top of the fourth. San Francisco with a man on first, no outs. Cubs Reds still sitting at 2-0 in the top of the third. Andrew Abbott pitching to Justin Turner right now as we start the third inning. And that was a game that you were eyeing, Will. I was trying to tell you I didn't get it in on time, but I really liked your thought on the Reds' first 5 run line.
Yeah, and I really like playing these first 5. First of all, I don't have the patience for the 9-inning sweat anymore at my advanced age. Especially in these games go to extra innings. You know what? I don't. It's a little better with the pitch clock now, but some of these games before the pitch clock, it'd be like 3.5 hours. I just want to know if I won or lost right away, and I really want to isolate my handicap to the starting pitching. So I like getting the half a run here with the Reds. They get the homer early from De La Cruz. Abbott has pitched nicely here, so just and that's the thing. You win them so quickly here. Especially if you're the home team. You go to that bottom of the fifth, it's a good feeling knowing that game is over when you can win those. So keep an eye on that. We've gotten some runs here in Houston, Seattle. Houston leads 2-1, so that was one where I'm a little surprised here. They're scoring as much as they are. San Diego, Atlanta, 1-1. Yankees got the homer for Judge early in the first inning, but have been retired since. Freeland's pitching a nice game. We head to the bottom of the third. Yankees leading 1-0. Still monster favorites on the money line. It looks like the Cubs might have gotten on the board. I think somebody just went deep here for the Cubbies to make it 2-1. So catching half a run there, still in good shape. Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, even. San Fran, Washington. Washington leads 2-0. What are you eyeing here? What do you have your eye on? Anything?
Well, I guess I should be a little bit worried about this Mariners-Stros game because I ended up playing the Mariners plus 110. I think they closed minus 105, and then as soon as the game started, got a little better odds there. I was late getting to it, which worked in my favor. But I like Brian Wu. So his expected results match up with his actual results. 2.65 ERA, 2.95 expected coming into this one. And what's even more impressive is that his ERA away from home is better, which you wouldn't really expect from someone who pitches in one of the best pitching parks there is. But a 1.95 ERA on the road. He's allowing a batting average of 1.98 in 2025. Framber Valdez is going for the Stros today, and really hasn't been great for him. And he should be seeing some negative regression as well. A 3.57 ERA, a 4.10 expected. Looks like the sinker is where he's getting his most trouble. He throws it 46% of the time. It's his primary pitch. And it has a 284 weighted on base average, but the expected is 359. So that pitch should get even worse for him. And then when you see something like that, it's no surprise that the changeup, which works off of it, has an expected weighted on base average of 336. So, and then also coming into this one, he is 2-3 against Seattle with an ERA above 4.5. Seattle also 7-0 against lefties. So I'm kind of hoping they bounce back here. Looking at Brian Wu, so he's, we're only in at the end of the second here, but he's given up 4 hits. It says no earned runs on the box score, so I guess those 2 Houston runs came on errors, but 3 strikeouts. Framber Valdez, 1 earned run on 2 hits, 1 strikeout and 2. But we're early. We're early here in this game, so I still got time for that plus 110 money line to catch up here. What else? Rangers, White Sox. Texas is leading Chicago 1-0 in the top of the third. I did end up playing the White Sox. You know, I was late to that one too. I don't recommend betting so close to first pitch, but it worked out for me because I got the White Sox at plus 180. And I do think this game is a lot closer than the market had it. Rangers just have offense is slumping in general, but not good on the road. 227 batting average on the road. They have lost 16 of their last 24 games on the road. And I think this starting pitching matchup is just a lot closer than the market implies. Jonathan Cannon throwing for the White Sox today. He has a 1.17 ERA at home. The Sox have won 3 of his last 5 starts. So he is a young, we got 2 young pitchers here. Jack Leiter is 25, Jonathan Cannon's 24. And there's a lot to pick apart here, but that's kind of why I think the Rangers getting by here with some name value. So hopefully White Sox can catch up here.
Yeah, White Sox not horrible either. They're still bad, but they're not as awful as they were last year, which I know is a low bar. But they're you could see the seeds of improvement. They might be, you know, the old saying, a year away from being a year away. They're at least improved, I think is the nice way to put it.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's like, yeah, we got the name value on one and the negative name value on the other. All right, are you ready to get in on the action? First Bet has you covered. Sign up now to access exclusive promotions and bet on hundreds of thrilling horse races every day, right from your phone or computer. Visit firstbet.com. That's the #1 stbet.com. Use the promo code VSIN200 to score a 20% rebate on all your wagers for the first 60 days, up to $200. Don't miss out. Start betting today at firstbet.com. More next.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.